So let's start by just moving our awareness into the body, checking our posture and trying to settle the body in a stable, comfortable, upright position that we can find that's serviceable for our meditation. We just check to make sure that the feet are flat and that we're not leaning on the backrest too much, trying to keep the torso upright under its own power. Trying to make sure that we don't slouch or lean. Keeping the hands in the lap with the right over left, with the palms upturned and the thumbs touching to form a gentle triangle. Allowing the body to settle into its own stable, comfortable, but still upright and stable position. Just briefly looking through the body and letting go of places where we're holding unnecessary tension. Then start to feel like you pull back your engagement with the external world, trying to hold your attention to the body and the mind, just losing interest in what's happening around you, concentrating your awareness just inside the body and mind. Begin to use the sensation of the air as it passes into and back out of the tip of the nostrils as a way of anchoring your attention, allowing yourself to let go again and again of anything that arises in your mind that isn't that sensation. Thoughts of the past or future just don't need to be attended to right now. Give your give yourself this time to concentrate just on the meditation. Gently lifting your awareness up each time that you notice a distraction, placing it quickly back on that physical sensation without judgment or frustration. And then establish a broad, virtuous motivation for your effort, thinking that when you develop your qualities, it's also everyone else who benefits. So, wanting to be a source of contentment for others, wanting to be able to secure the happiness of others through developing your own qualities and thinking that that's the real purpose of your time. Then today we'll do a meditation from Lama Zopa Rinpoche called Giving Your Body Away. It's kind of intense in the same way that Tonglen can be intense. But when we do things that stretch the mind, we learn things about ourselves. So it can be very valuable to try to go beyond our current capacity. So he quotes Shantideva's Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life, which is just like space and the great elements, such as earth and water, fire, and air. May I always support the lives of all of the boundless creatures. He says that with that prayer, we are requesting to become the basis, the very life foundation of all of the inconceivably vast number of beings. And not just briefly, but forever. When we give away our bodies in this fashion, it is up to those other beings to decide how to use the elements of our body, the earth, fire, water, air, and space, for their happiness. It's not up to the elements to decide. It's not up to us to decide. So he says to do this practice, imagine the following. First, imagine that the four elements that form your own body absorb into the four external elements of earth, water, fire, and air. Imagine that your flesh and bones absorb into the external earth element. Imagine that your body becomes the stable earth and is used by all beings in whatever way they wish for their survival and happiness, not only in this world, but in all worlds. Imagine that your body is used by all beings as fields and crops, beautiful parks, roads, and vehicles to obtain gold, diamonds, and other precious jewels, to build houses and cities, to make tunnels and bridges. Visualize this as elaborately as possible. So we'll pause and try to work on that visualization, making it stable and detailed. And we think that our two eyes become the sun and the moon and work for all beings, illuminating them, guiding them. And then again, the flesh of the body absorbs into all nourishment in the world, and not just this world, but the nourishment of all worlds. Even the skin of the body becomes like clothes, like fur, whatever each and every sentient being might need to stay warm. and visualize that the blood and water and liquids of the body absorb into the external water element, which is used by all beings for their survival and happiness. Think of all of the many different ways in which the water of the world, which is none other than your own body's fluids, is being used for their happiness. Visualize as extensively as possible the many different uses of water to irrigate flowers and crops, and to quench the thirst of all sentient beings. And imagine that the internal heat of your body absorbs into the external fire element, which is used by all beings for their happiness. Think of how heat and the ability to burn benefit all beings, keeping them warm, giving them light, giving them a means to cook, to stay safe, to explore. Imagine this as extensively as possible, in as much detail as possible. and think that your breath absorbs into the external air, the wind element, which is used by all beings for their survival through breathing and moving. Wind is light in nature and enables movement, grants freedom. Breath is life itself. Let yourself be breathed in by all beings, bringing life-sustaining oxygen to every cell in the body of all living beings. Now imagine that all the sufferings and negative karmas of all beings everywhere ripen upon you, and thereby know that all beings are freed from all their suffering and its causes, all their negative karmas and obscurations. Let all of the harmful karma of all beings everywhere come to fruition, and let yourself receive all the results. Absorb all this suffering and all its causes into your own self-cherishing thought, destroying the thought and the object it cherishes, the quote, real I. Now even the real I, which appears to exist from its own side, becomes empty. All that is left is the merely imputed I, and this one now dedicates all your happiness and merit to all beings. All the beings in each realm receive and experience your past, present, and future happiness and merit. In the same way, also dedicate all the merit of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas throughout space and time. Know that this merit is also received and experienced by all beings. In this way, your body, composed of the four elements, becomes nectar, and into this nectar of your body flows the transcendental wisdom from the hearts of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. The essence of all the worlds is also absorbed into the nectar, and this nectar nourishes and supports all beings, immediately fulfilling all their wishes, giving them ultimate happiness, ultimate joy. And now, since you have offered your body to all beings of the six realms, it no longer exists. All that is left now is your mind, which doesn't have natural existence, which doesn't exist from its own side. Focus on its actual nature, its emptiness. Bring to awareness the fact that the mind doesn't have the slightest existence from its own side, that it's completely empty. And then recite Om Hung 7 times. Om Hung, Om Hung, Om Hung, Om Hung, Om Hung, Om Hung, Om Hung. And then when you're ready, we'll come back together. And then we'll dedicate. So recollect your virtuous motivation and recollect the effort that you made in actualizing that motivation. And think, by practicing in this way, may I create the causes and the conditions to actually serve as the support for all living beings. May I manifest in whatever bodies, in whatever environments, in whatever ways sentient beings need. May I create the causes and the conditions to achieve the fully awakened state, solely for the purpose of being able to manifest in that way, to give away my body again and again to benefit sentient beings. And think that by practicing in this way, may the obstacles to the Guru's long life be completely dispelled, and may His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Lama Zopa Rinpoche and all of our spiritual guides continue to abide and to guide and protect us in lifetimes without limit and without obstacle. Thank you.